Welcome back to our next little video. We are now at the fourth video at chapter 3. So we did a small introduction, chapter 1, last time chapter 2, and now we're dealing with chapter 3. Chapter 3 deals with every season counts, and it deals with the development stages then of us as humans as we journey from birth up till death. So me trying to help you, so hopefully now you've already have someone that you're sharing the content with. And again, we share the content because we have been impacted by the content. And because we've been impacted by the content, we have the desire to share this with others, which is a very natural thing again. As normally as I would share about the rugby, the food, the music, the cinema, the whatever I've done, now I'm sharing about what has impacted my life. I have discovered this, I have the need to share it. So hopefully you've started identifying groups of people at home, at work, in your neighborhood, in your social circles that you can start sharing this with. Maybe one-on-one, maybe one-on-two, maybe one-on-three. Some of you I know have bigger groups that's more structured, more formal. Fantastic, great, go ahead with that. But I don't want to disown or discount the one-on-one discussions where we share this. Second reason why we're sharing this again, just as a reminder, is not only for our own purposes of helping us share with it, but also building our capacity regarding the material so that we could in future also train on this material. But let's get back to chapter 3, every season counts. Probably the thing that I think is one of the most important things in chapter 3 is the understanding that the father, and remember where there's no father, we talk about father figure. So whomever constitutes father figure, it could be mother, grandmother, auntie, uncle, coach, pastor, teacher, whomever that substitute father figure is. The key thing for chapter 3, I think, is understanding that father is a life coach. So father figure then is a life coach. So for me to coach life, I worked as a life coach for 5 years in a marketplace ministry, and I've been a coach, a sports coach, since 1995, coaching U11 rugby, and then cricket, and then hockey at one stage, and these days I'm a soccer coach. So I think this is one sort of topic that I have a little bit of experience on. So being a life coach or being a coach means that I have to understand where you are. Someone said, I don't love someone until I give them what they need. So here's the challenge, When my 3 children was born, I tell people often, I stood there, I watched, where's the manual that was about to come with this package? Because, when I buy something, I get a manual with the package. There was no manual with the package. So, we have to work things out. So where's the manual? Because if I, as a father or as a father figure or as a mother where there's no father and I have to play the role as a father figure, I've got to be the life coach. What does a boy need at age 6? Which is different from what a girl needs at age 8, from what a boy needs at age 10. Who knows these things? Aren't all children the same? If I just, raise my voice a bit or be a little bit more stricter or have discipline or whatever, then no. For me as a life coach, for life coaching to work, I need to know in what stage of life you are in, so that I can love you appropriately by giving you what you need. Very interesting thing if you think about that. So how do I help you to become a better life coach for your own children, and as we're sharing this content with other people, helping them to be more effective life coaches? One of the passages in the Bible, you'll see the passage at the end on the screen, that talks about this is where Jesus is, for me, one of the best examples of where Jesus is life coaching. It's just after Jesus did the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. Just before that, He sent out the 72. This is in Mark 6. He sent them out. Well, that's probably in Mark 5 and 4 already. He sent them out saying, don't take this, don't take that. Go to houses, knock. When speak peace. When peace comes back, stay there. The people did that. Amazing miracles happened. They came back. Jesus wanted to debrief them. Timing didn't work out because the people stayed with them. Jesus says, let's get on a boat and get away from the people. He wanted to spend time to debrief them as a life coach, as a leader. But the people kept following. And the Bible tells us that 5,000 men, which probably equates to 15,000 people, men, women, and children, followed them. Jesus had compassion on the people and he said, okay, let me stop my plans. Let me minister to them. And he started preaching and teaching. This is obviously the very famous part. Then the people got hungry. The disciples panicked. They said it's going to be a man's wages for a year to feed this amount of people. And even if we had that, how can we justify that? Jesus, this is your problem. What are you going to do? And Jesus said to them, well, what do you have? Why do you make it my problem? You just came back from doing miracles and seeing how God provided for you where you didn't take extra shoes and purses and stuff with, And the disciples they did not get it. They did not understand. Jesus stepped in, multiplication of the bread and the fish. 15,000 people ate themselves full. Knippeldik. Picked up how many baskets of food afterwards. And then we see later in chapter 6 that Jesus said the disciples did not understand this because their hearts were hardened. So, don't know why they didn't understand it, but they didn't understand it. So Jesus had a plan as life coach. It didn't happen. And then the next words, verse 1 says, immediately, Jesus said, get on the boat, cross the lake, I'm going to withdraw, I'm going to pray, I'll see you tomorrow. So, logical questions. Lord, how are you going to get there? We're taking the boat. What should we do? Jesus says, no, immediately go. It's interesting how Jesus life coaches them now. He puts them in a difficult position. He goes, the timing says that it was maybe about 8 o'clock at night. 4 hours later, 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, we see that Jesus is now on the mountain. He's praying. He's looking down on the lake. He's seeing there's the little boat. The boat's going nowhere because there's a storm against the boat. And these guys are rowing. Now imagine, you've been rowing for 4 hours. You're not getting anywhere. You're tired. You just came back from the ministry. You just had this feeding of the 5,000 or 15,000. Can you imagine the work just involved in that? How tired these people were. Now they've been rowing for 4 hours. They're in the middle of the lake. They're getting nowhere. Jesus leaves them. We see again Jesus 4 hours later at dawn. Just before dawn was breaking, Jesus said, okay, 4 hours later, they're still getting nowhere. 4 hours later rowing, they're still nowhere. How tired are they? Jesus says, okay, I think it's time. Steps up onto the lake, walks past them. They see him. Some of the passages, some of the translations says they got the fright of their life. In Afrikaans, hulle het hulle ander bloedgroep ingeskrik. They are totally disturbed by this, what they see here. Probably because of the tiredness and everything that happened. Jesus steps into the boat. He says, hey, don't worry, it's me. Steps into the boat. Everything quiets down. The Bible says, suddenly, the disciples get it. And it says there, and that's the verse where it says, they didn't get it about the feeding of the 5,000 because their hearts were hardened, but now they got it. They then now row because the wind is down. They land at a different spot and ministry flows. What's the point? The point is that Jesus was intentional the whole time about where are they, what needs to happen next. Okay, Is my plan working? What do they need now? Okay. Plan working? Okay, we can go this way. Plan not working? Oh, immediately we're doing this now. That's life coaching. So if Jesus is intentional about working this way with his disciples, then I think it's a clear indication for us that as a father and a mother, we are the life coaches. But for me to be a life coach, I need to understand not only the mother impact years, 0 to 6, the father impact years, 6 to 12, the peer impact years, 12 to 18, and the culture impact years, 18 to 24. But I need to know the specifics under that. For we'll come to it in the end when we look at the fourth role of the father, and we'll look at the roles of the mother as well as we journey through this series. But the fourth role of the father is validation. How do I validate if I don't know what's going on in your life? Validation only works if I know that, for instance, at age 4, industry, busyness, is key thing, and discovering. And so I validate that. Wow, you are amazing at strength, or the sexuality at age 9. Wow, I see that you are a man and that you are becoming a man, and even more becoming a man. And so even into the teenage years, the specifics of what is needed, the leadership development, the emotional intelligence. I cannot life coach if I don't know where my child or where the person that I'm working with is. Same for us when we come to our half times and our things, later on in life, is understanding where the person is. So as you journey with this chapter and as you read through this chapter, as you apply it into your own life, into your own children's lives, think and remember of yourself as life coach. The one defining thing about a life coach is there's an intentionality. Why am I intentional? Because I know what happens next. I know what needs to come next. As God, as Father, is intentional in his life coaching of Jesus. He knew when Jesus was going to start his working career at the baptism of Christ in Mark chapter 1. And that's why he spoke into his life. This is my son, whom I love, with whom I am well pleased. And based on that, Jesus could stand the test of the temptations, work for this 3.5 years, because his Father validated him according to the season, according to what he needed to hear at that stage of his life. Okay, I think I've said it enough times. My wife always says that I say things over too much, so let me not irritate her in this. So please continue with this. Please journey with this. Please remember to talk with people regarding this, the insight that you got from the course, or maybe from this. Share with people what has excited you. Remember to do that intentionally, to put a little bit of structure to your getting togethers and your groups. And if you have any questions, please email us. We'd love to help you with more detailed answers. I for sure don't know everything. So I'm not asking you to know everything, but there's someone that knows more than me, so I'm going to ask them as you may want to ask me. So let's continue with that flow as we journey with that. See you next time. Thank you. You'll see at the bottom in the description, you'll see some of the text that you could use to do Discovery Bible Studies regarding this. See you next time. Thank you.